G'day, I'm Adrian, and this is my place. G'day everyone, welcome to Juan's house and his family's house. We're actually here, we're going to do the first tank that you've ever had yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know your family's had some before, but
this is like the first official one.
yeah, awesome. You've been a bit excited.
Yeah, definitely. Over the last couple of weeks, it's been like, has Adrian responded?
Yeah.
What has he said? Oh,
Yeah,
cool,
funny, because we had to cancel last week, so it was one of those things where we put it back a week just so we weren't pushed for time, and today's actually perfect. So I've had a busy morning. I've actually been out collecting, collect hardscape a couple of weeks ago as I've gone through, but I've gone and visited Matt Duthie from Duthie Aquatics today, who has been brilliant. I've got to say, Matt's always very generous, but when he found out that I was doing a tank for Juan, he offered to supply not only all the plants for it, but also the fish that Juan's interested in. So we're going to film that. You'll see that in today's video as well. We're going to go right through from what is a setup of a Kmart tank. So it's a basic setup. The rock doesn't come with it, but it's I'll put the literage on the screen for you now. It's probably on here, but I'm not going to look for it. And then they come with usually a net, one of these little pumps, which I'm not going to use. So I'm going to do an air system. So if you run an air system and a pump, you've got twice as much electricity, of course. So with this, you can do away with this, and you don't have to worry about cleaning and filters and all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
So the sponge filter it's like a biobacterial filter, and I'll explain to you as we go through, and you'll see I've got it in really dirty water because I've got lots of bacteria in it. So the plan is just to go through this from scratch, step by step, so I can not only explain it to Juan, but whilst I'm doing that, explain it to you guys as well. Because if you've got kids and they want a fish tank, it doesn't have to be expensive. I try to do as much as I can on the cheap. I scrounge around. I get friends to give me fish and plants and all the rest of it again. Thank you, Matt. So what we're going to do today is just go through that, not dissimilar to what I did with did you watch the video of the setup?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because that pardon me, that turned out pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
So and it's rated pretty well as far as the video. So that's obviously what people want to see. It's what you want to see.
Yeah.
So we'll go through it now, and I'm just going to explain it as we go. One's going to go outside and do what I consider the worst job. It's not really that bad, but the worst job of all, which is washing the sand. So we'll show you that now, and I will come back to you shortly. So I've got this turned on now. So this is the air pump. I think we were just saying, I haven't got my glasses over there, but it's three. Oh, there they are. Look.
Yeah.
Legend. Okay. Yeah. So it's 3 watts. So it's cost hardly anything to run. It's a double outlet, so you can actually run 2 tanks, which you've got the spot there for 2 tanks. So when you're ready for another one, you don't have to upgrade your system to run it. So what we're not running is this filter. Great filter, by the way. They're just a cheapie, but they'd be pretty good for this tank, but I think it will put too much flow for the fish that we're talking about. And one of the things that's actually really good is that, so you sent me on Instagram a list of the fish that you were looking for, like a beta, you like some neon tetras in there, those sorts of things. So my first instinct is that wouldn't work because the betas are going to chase the neons, although depending on the size, and I thought shrimp, because sometimes you can put shrimp in, some of the betas will just eat them, that just happens. So don't panic if that happens, because I've got your shrimp, but it's just the way it works, and it's food for them, but others don't eat them. So when I went to Matt, so I rang Matt this morning and I said, hey, I'm doing this tank, can you do you want to sponsor it and get some plants for Juan? And he said, yeah, I've also got some betas, do you want to come and have a look? And I said, yep. So I've gone and had a look, and in one of his Kmart tank sites is a really nice beta, but it's in there with neon tetras. So yeah, I think we can do that. So I'll get one of the other
Yeah,
shops
because
in too.
they also like, we went to pet store the other day and they were like, look, we can't really say yeah it'll work
Yeah.
or no, absolutely don't do it, because
Yeah.
it also kind of depends on the
On the fish.
attitude
Correct.
and of the fish.
Yeah, and some, like I said, will eat shrimp. Others won't touch them. So this one's he bred this one. It's a young boy, but he's a beautiful fish. But he's in with betas. With the neon tetras. So now you go, okay, he actually won't eat
it works.
them. So and how it usually works is the tetras. So they're fine during the day. They'll swim around. And they'll get chased and they'll get away. They'll hide in the plants. But at night time, when it gets dark, they stop and then they'll sink to the bottom and they'll pick a spot and they'll just stay there. And then the beta will come in. So as they get bigger, if you notice some tails nipped or you're missing a tetra here and there, then it's easy. You just either catch him out or catch the others out. That'll save you 1 power cost with not using that. This one's relatively silent, even though you can hear that come out of there. What I'm going to do is I've just got one, it's just a black 4mm airline tube, 1 control valve. It's a quarter turn, and this T here. So what I'm going to do is have one of these outlets coming into this one coming into this one, then I'm going to have the T in here. So you'll have like double strength for a while.
Yeah.
You can control it here if it's too much, and it probably will be, so we'll need to control it down for the fish. And then as I say, if it gets to the point where you do get a second tank, this will run a second tank, then you just take the T out and that one runs on this side and then that one runs on that side. You get a second airline. So this is where all your filtration's coming from. So what happens, pardon me, with a sponge filter, and it's dirty so I won't get it out, but the sponge around, there's a hollow center in it and the air is dispersed down low. It's forced down low, and what happens is the air then rushes up and creates this water, this vacuum inside with the chamber. So all the water outside gets drawn into it, but goes through the sponge first. All of the sediment, all of the poop, and all the rest of it gets stuck in there.
For example, the tetras won't get through there.
No, it's a really fine sponge. So all of that then just builds up all the poop, the bacteria then eats it, and it just goes through the whole cycle. Then your shrimp will be eating off the sponge as well. And if your beta starts chasing the shrimp, and like he might eat a few, but he's pretty small, so growing up with him is better. The reason I wanted to put the shrimp in the tank today when we're finished is because it's better to add a fish to a shrimp tank than a shrimp to a fish tank.
Yeah.
Because a shrimp to a fish tank is food. A fish to a shrimp tank is, I need to check out the environment, who lives here, they own the place. And everything. All right, well, we'll get cracking on setting this up. So I've got it powered up there. I'll grab the scissors, and then the next job is to put the substrate in. We're going to put a layer of sand, and given it's your first tank, I'll tell you all the little tricks as you go. What you don't do is dump a whole heap of sand in at once, because you can crack the bottom. So you get the bucket on an angle and basically just as neatly as you can. What I reckon we're looking for here is just a decent coverage of maybe 1/2 inch across there. So Paddy, sort of get your fingers in like that and push them down, and what you're doing there is taking all of the air pockets out. So it's a nice sort of a base to it. And then once that's down like that, then I'm just going to work out how I'm going to... every rock has got a face, basically. So you've got what would be considered the back side of the rock. And then you've got the front side of the rock. And every rock is going to have, if you choose them correctly, is going to have something distinctive about it that looks good and will also fit into the shape of what you're trying to do here. So we're trying to do a slice of a riverbank is the theme, especially if we're going to put things like the tetras in there. So they really need a bit of cover and a bit of space. And your beta likes to hide. So they're going to really enjoy having some sort of structure in here. Now the shrimp need to hide from the predators, because they definitely are prey, and these guys definitely are predators. So we're going to build like a little shrimp sanctuary for them to hide in. So now what I'm going to do...
Maybe cut it down a little.
I'm going to break that there. So I think we'll have the sponge filter on this side, so it's easy for you to sort of clean and maintain. I'll have it so it's somewhat hidden. and then I think we'll make the shrimp sanctuary in and amongst all this stuff over here, so that they can have a space to hide. So all I want to do now is get this how I want it to look. And I don't mind, so we've got a lid, so we've got to make sure that the top is lower.
Yeah, just trim it down a bit.
And I like that. Kind of like that. Let me move him down a bit. How does that look frontal? Not too bad. Okay, so then I will take that off there. So same with the rocks, is they're going to have a way that they look better than others. So this could be, coming out this way and then branches were out there, or it could have been the roots going down this way. So you try to look at the way that it's going to sit. So for me, that sits nice and neat in there. Plus it gives that bit of an angle. See the way that this one is coming forward to the front of the tank?
Yeah.
This one's coming forward to the front of the tank. And the other thing too is you won't be able to clean where it touches the glass. So wherever you can, we keep them off the glass just for the ease of the maintenance. But what that allows too, so when I put rocks in here, this will all be shrimp space, but your beta, you'll probably find you'll sleep on this log. So they actually stop and they actually just rest on the log. So you'll probably find you'll perch here, you'll hide back in here. I'll have the air in here, which is sort of where the flow will be, and this will be a slower area just for the shrimp and also the tetra to hide. And we'll put some taller plants in here for them to hide as well. So now we don't need that anymore.
It's looking great.
Yeah, not even close to finished either. So I'm pleased you're happy.
To be honest, if you had told me at the start when we were thinking of starting the aquarium that it would look like this, I would not have believed you.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I tried to work out to be as close to what you wanted as possible, So again, each rock is different, and you can create little spaces for them. So
definitely a shrimp haven there.
Yeah, when I put them all together, there'll be somewhere that they will. And the thing with the shrimp is the more rocks and the more little crevices, the better. So that's why sometimes the smaller rocks are better. It's like a shrimp. It's a shrimp pile. So see how that could be flat?
Yeah.
And it's got steps, or it could be just a nice flat, smooth area for corridors or something to sit on, or it could also stand up like that, which is what I'm thinking. So we want to lock in the timber that's down the bottom. So to do that,
little
rocks, or the next size down, and just twisting them so that they can fit in place without moving your structure that you've already set up. It should be relatively firm, so you're not, forever fixing it, because there's nothing worse than having a tank that you're forever having to get in and fix the structure. So the beta won't get into these areas, which is good. That's what we want. But your shrimp will definitely feel safe
around these.
Yeah, they'll have somewhere to hide, and they'll also release their babies in here. So when you do see baby shrimp, then you can actually feed more in this area, because that's where the babies will be. They won't be coming out to feed,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Are these just like spreading them around?
I'm going to put a few around, yeah. So just like in a river where they how they collect in the river with big, small, little. That's really what we're aiming for here. And see how I'm filling these spaces in here? Because you don't want spaces for fish, but you want spaces for shrimp, and they can easily get in there, I think we need a few. See how there's some smaller spaces here? So some of these medium rocks, that's it.
There.
So those ones in there, just to fill. See down the back of this one here?
Oh, yeah, I would never seen that.
That's it. Beautiful.
Maybe.
Yep, so maybe down in this gap here. See there? The front one?
Oh, this one, yeah.
That's it. And then I'm just going to put these over the top, sort of thing, just to give me a little bit of space between them. But then I might leave that one. Then I'm going to use a capstone. So this will be like the little display area where they can come down and then you can feed and all that sort of stuff. Put him there. I wonder what other rocks. If we got another big one for the back there.
What about the food? What sort
I've got a little bit of food for you. I'm going to bring some for you next week. What I'm thinking is, so any plant that comes out of the water is actually great because it will take out the nitrates and the nitrites and all that sort of stuff. The time to think about that is when you're setting it up and how it's going to work with your lid. So I'm going to have one airline coming through here, but I'm going to have a plant coming out the top of this. Is called pothos. And this will keep your water clean. This will get all roots through it, and the shrimp will love it. And then, let's see how far I'm going. Across about an inch. All right. So, see how I'm sliding it down between those rocks there?
Yeah.
And then that should hopefully lock it in. And that will grow beautifully up the top once I'm done. So don't worry about it looking a bit shabby there for the minute. Try to get the structure right, because that one doesn't sit on that very well yet. Well, everyone who's got fish tanks knows about duckweed, but yes, we can show the duckweed. So pretty much I've got a bucket of water, so I can actually get the duckweed off, and Juan actually loves the duckweed. You can actually grow duckweed, you probably will anyway, but the thing is, once it gets across the top of the tank, it's so hard to get rid of and just get every last little one out of there. So
this tiny little plant
yeah,
here.
it's not a good plant. These plants, however, are much better. I still don't have all the names of them worked out, but this Alodia is an oxygenating plant. It can go in both slow-moving stuff, which we're going to have where we're going to put it, and also high-moving. But see how long it is? It's actually, it needs to be adjusted and trimmed before it's put into the tank. So what I do is I work out roughly the height of the tank that I want, how much I want to lay over, and see all this excess here. So what I do is I grab the bunch here, and I use one of the other longer roots here to wrap it around. This one as well. And then what I do is that will actually keep it together like a bunch. And I just use as much duckweed and other bits and pieces as you can pull out. You just need to get rid of as you go through, and you'll completely understand why when you can't see your fish and then you can't feed the tank, and you'll just get rid of it. This stuff I think is called Blue Stricta. If I'm wrong, again, it'll be on the screen right now. This is it's called orange. I don't know if that's what is the name of that plant? It'll drive me nuts until I work it out, but it's Ludwigia. So it should be Ludwigia orange, and I don't know the name of that one, so I will be checking that one out. This is Hydrocotyle Japan. I've got some mother plants of the frog bit, which throw off all the babies, which you'll have in there. And this stuff is dwarf hairgrass, like it will only get that tall as well. You can trim it, but that'll hide all the shrimp. And if you do happen to breed any fish in there, then they'll hide in there. So I think that's probably a good start for the tank. And then we'll fit it out, plan it out, fill it up, and then once it's full, we can position everything. We might do another quick water change to clean it up, and then have the air running. And that will pretty much see you sorted for this week. And then I'll come back next week. We'll check the plants out. We'll see how they've grown, whether they've had anything change in them. And then we'll add the shrimp today, though, so you'll actually get to watch some stuff during the week, which is good. And then hopefully, if everything's correct and running good, which I'm sure it will be because of all my water and the sponge filter. Here we go. I've pre-soaked in my sump for a long time, for a couple of weeks now. So that's all the dirty water, the bacteria, and whilst it looks terrible, that's actually what keeps your tank alive. So I won't tip all that in there. I'm going to squeeze a lot of it out, but a lot of it will be a little bit brown when it goes in, and tonight it might look a bit milky. What you should do is be really happy with that, because number one, that's awesome food for your shrimp. So I was like, great. And tomorrow the sponge filter will have cleaned up about 80% of it. The day after, it'll be 100% clear, and it'll just keep staying clear. And then when you see the water column get a bit dirty, or it changes color, or there's some sediment around, there's things to look at, like your tank might need the water change. You might be feeding too much, and I'm actually going to do a video update on the tank that I did with my neighbor, who's fed probably 4 times as much as he should every night, and the tank was on the verge of spiking to ammonia, so we saved it, did an emergency water change and all that sort of stuff. So I'll teach you how to avoid all that, and that's why I've only got you a little bit of food too, and do it every second day, and then that's your regime. And then once you've got that with your fish, then it's just every day for them, but a small amount. So, and I'll explain all that to you next week particularly, but for today, let's get these guys in. This stuff here, just quickly, anything that grows out of the water.
Yep.
So these guys are all submerged, and they may change some leaf shapes for the light, and you know how much nutrients are in the water. But these guys will just go nuts. So no matter how, I guess you say dirty your water is, the plants love it, and that's why they're in there. So if your plants, you know, are eating up all of the dirty water, then you've got no problems at any time with your fish. You know it's going through. So these ones have access to the air, which means that they have little pores on the top and also the bottom of them that expel the gases that come out. So it'll take the ammonia, the nitrates, and it'll convert them, and it will actually produce oxygen. So it's taking everything out and then producing oxygen. So these are great for oxygen in your house,
so
like
it's sort of
everything
like
else.
a tree, but in
Exactly,
the water.
and it's like sucks it out of the, like a big straw out of all of the bacteria, all of the detritus, all of the you know, the decomposing fish poop, everything, and also the snails and the shrimp that I've got in. They'll eat it first, so they make it smaller and smaller. So as the particles break down, they get caught in the sponge filter, or they go into the water column, and these plants take them up. So you'll also find your shrimp will just hang off the bottom of them and pick at the bottom. You'll see them upside down, and they're really fun plants to have in there. And they're from your part of the world, South America as well. Okay, let's get these things into the tank. They settle down, you know, they sort of get stuck in that position and they'll just stay there type thing. So much quieter, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I think we'll just, if it's a bit noisy, sort of vibrating, you can always just...
like a towel?
Yeah, just like a sponge or a towel to sit on. You know, it sort of stops that noise. So he's running fine, which is good. I'm now going to work out our length. Probably somewhere around there. Bring it over the back. Good, still going. That's good. So we'll put some plants in first before we take the sponge filter out, because the bacteria starts to die as soon as you pull it out. I'm looking for both height and give them a drink for a minute. So these two should grow tall. So you will lose a couple of leaves just because they're that's just the way they sort of readjust to their environment. And again, if they've been grown out of water, then they readjust to it. So I'm hoping that these guys really sort of kick on. This one gets quite big, so having him at the back makes sense. Always try to put the biggest plants to the back, of course.
Can you like trim them?
Yeah, for sure. When they get big, you'll definitely be trimming them. So I've just got him sitting on there now, and what I'm going to do is get exactly the right size rock to lock it in there at the base. Here's the aim, and I might have done that. Good. So what will happen is the roots will go into the soil themselves, and also the in between the rocks, and lock it in. I'll get some small ones. And then I just put them over the base, and it usually covers, I leave the bottom leaf on so it actually locks it in, and I bury the leaf. And sometimes no matter what you do that and they just float up to the top. But that's part of all the fun of doing the scaping, is getting it right, because you've done it so many times and had to fix it so many times.
Yeah.
Carpeting one. I want to bunch up like that. So I'm just keeping, so when you get the roots together like that, if you just keep all the roots as close as possible together and all the little spots coming up, you can create like a little bunch.
Yeah,
like it's almost like it's a tree type thing, you know, or a bush.
Just checking for any more.
Yeah.
Duckweed.
Duckweed, yeah. There's always going to be duckweed. I'm thinking this hydrocotyle over there, and I've got some grass plants there. So I think this one in here, because it'll keep quite low, and you can also keep it hugging the rocks. So you know how you asked about trimming plants?
Oh,
so
yeah.
if these started to grow like up like that, you could trim that and then push them into the rocks to get you more of a carpeted, you know, ground cover type thing. So I'm just going to push these guys into the rocks, because that'll keep them low.
But should we like put a rock to like stop them?
Maybe on the top there in a second. Hydrocotyle Japan. Okay. Alright, there we go. Nice one. Be in there for a sec. So isn't that a nice little water plant? I'm gonna put him some hairgrass. I'm actually gonna plant him at the front and the hairgrass at the back, I think. So dig a little spot for him. And see how I've got the roots together like that in that little bunch?
Yeah.
So if you hold them like that, and it's like a plug, and now he should stay in there.
It definitely like brings the aquarium to life.
It does, huh? When you put the plants in it?
Yeah, like just gives it a bit of colour.
Yeah, it sure does. And I think one of the tricks too is people don't spend enough time placing the plants, like finessing them to the point where they
landscape
look.
right.
Yep, correct. And we're setting this up now to be this little valley for him to be able to rip through and hide, you know. So we want sort of lower areas at the front there, so you can see him as he rips through. That looks nice there. I'm happy with that. So then, see how the sand's on an angle like that? That'll just wash away and settle down. So what you do with these other rocks is then just put a few of the smaller ones. It makes it look more natural as it sort of blends into the sand. But some days he'll want to sit on the rocks, other days he'll want to sit on the sand, other days he'll want to sit on the leaf. You know, it's just a variety for him.
Yeah.
To be able to go around and keep him happy, keep him interested. That looks alright. And then what we might do now is
the dwarf hairgrass.
Dwarf hairgrass.
Yep.
Now this should produce a really good little bunch of hairgrass. I'm gonna put him right up. Yeah, that looks good, huh?
Definitely.
I think you'll be happy, whatever fish we get for here.
Oh yeah. It's a really, really nice environment. Thank you very much for helping us
good,
out.
man. Thank you very much for letting me come and play in the fish tank. I love to do it. Yeah, that's a good spot for him. All right, so I'll give you the mic. You can just hold that one.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you think, dude? How do you reckon it turned out?
Oh, it's amazing. Honestly, if you told me a couple of weeks ago or showed me how it looks now and said, "Yep, that's your aquarium," I would never have believed you. It looks amazing. It's astonishing. It's a piece of art.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I do agree. I think it's definitely art, and it's living art, and it's now up to you to keep it alive. Now, of course, I'm going to come back next week, and I'm going to do we'll add the fish, and we'll go and see Matt from Duthie Aquatics. You've got the shrimp in here now. It's a bit dirty, of course, as we've got it, the sponge filter running through, and the shrimp have been coming out and swimming around pretty well. But that's the tunnel through there. Once we get the other light too, you'll see much more detail of these guys actually through the tunnel, because we'll have the light will actually be at the back. So he'll use that. I reckon he'll hide and sleep in there. He may even, I reckon he's going to sleep up on here as well. You'll find him sitting up there. And then the shrimp are just going to all be over in the corners, the rocks, and the other areas. So at the moment we've just got a temporary light till we can get one. And I'm still thinking about whether or not how much frog bit on top, so I don't have too much light on there. But at the moment, I love the way it's coming in on the angle. I love the shimmering and all the rest of it. And I love that you love it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So it's been worth the effort. So all right, excellent. Well, we're gonna have to wait a week to see this, but everybody else, you're gonna see this right now. Okay, so it's the following Saturday, and I've just arrived at Matt's place, Duthie Aquatics. I'm here to give him a bit of a hand with the his ponds and stuff today. He's got some stuff he needs to move inside before winter, and I thought I'd come and give him a hand and just basically get organised, because it's always better when you've got two people doing really shitty jobs. So we've done some pond cleaning today. I'll show you a bit of that and what's going to happen throughout that. And also today's the day that Juan is coming here with his dad Milton, and we're going to go and select the fish for the tank that we've set up for him. So Matt has generously donated those fish to us today. So we've got some neon tetras and a really nice male beta. So I'm going to take you inside now. All right, g'day, Matt.
Hello everyone.
How are you, mate?
Pretty good.
Awesome. So you're going through some changes here. I know your fish room is normally pretty immaculate, but you're actually moving out of here.
Yes, so we got done over by the Christmas storm.
Yep.
And now it's been 6 months, which means the insurance may consider possibly, if all the stars are in retrograde, do something about it.
Maybe.
And in order for them to fix the roof and over there, I'm actually going to have to take everything out of this fish room.
Yeah, wow.
And now being winter, it's an absolute mammoth job.
And similarly with your ponds, huh? That's just get them in out for winter and sort of store them almost until till you've got your work done, and then back here next spring.
Pretty much.
These are nice, mate.
Yeah, platinum guppies.
Beautiful.
They're a little bit hungry because
they look like it.
Haven't fed them today.
Cool. And this is how you grow your plants.
Yes.
Look at that. Do you mind if I lift the lid off one of these?
Yeah, go ahead. Because there's been much demand for snail-free plants, I had to do it this way.
Yeah, right.
Because when I get them from the wholesaler as well, they do sometimes have snail eggs on them, so this is the only way I can guarantee I can do some plants absolutely snail-free.
And what do? You just grow them in here for what, a month or two? And
yeah, grow them in here, do the cuttings of them, and then put them into a tank I know has no snails to convert, and once they've got a good root system, they can go out. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, you got some
24 karat gold guppies there.
They're looking pretty good. The girls you gave me have really done well in my tank, because I like the in fact you got some beautiful males there now too as well, so they're mine are pretty similar to looking to these guys. All right, so I'm going to do some work outside, which you'll see now, and then come back in. Matt's got a couple of nice tanks over here. Check out that little setup with the Nubia. So everything you see is for sale as far as the plants and everything goes in here. Oh, and I wanted to show you these. So Matt's actually going to give me some of these guys.
I'm going to breed them up for his ponds for next year. But they are. So what are these? What are they called? I know they're
So they're rosy barbs.
rosy barbs, yeah, but they've got the black fin on them.
Yes, so because I'm not a purist when it comes to breeding them, so I got some with long fins, some with short fins, and they just kind of threw out what they did. So we've got some of these ones with the really nice black fins that have just kind of come out, and then your more bland ones that are kind of like that, and then some yellow ones, and then the really nice coloured up ones. So.
And do the girls have black on them? How would you pick the girls out of them? Like I'd sort of say that one there was a girl.
Yeah, so you go by the rounded stomach. Males be more flat. They also get the coloration when they're ready for breeding as well. So that's the way I'd pick it. So go for whichever ones are the brightest, and then whichever ones are kind of like the most plump, and that'll be the best breeders.
I've got to say, and I've seen lots of fish, I've never seen these guys before.
I don't think I've really seen many that are this nice, to be honest.
They're really well proportioned.
Yeah, I keep them mainly as a service animal, as in I'm lazy, and they're great at eating algae.
Yeah, you said that.
So these ones, like the specific algae that they will eat will be the green staghorn algae, whereas like your Siamese algae eaters and stuff like that, they will eat like your string algae, but they won't touch the staghorn algae, which is one thing I found. Then I just experimented with the fish, and then lo and behold, they were the best ones for it.
Yeah, we've got some good options. I mean, in reality, if you do actually use fish to control that, you've got goldfish that do, of course, all the duckweed and any floating stuff like that, and then within the tank you've got these sorts of fish as well, and platies. I know they pick at other stuff as well. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, by the sounds of it, I think the guys have arrived out there. So we're going to. I love this tank too with the bonsai pot in it. So I'm going to stop filming now and then show you guys the fish that we're going to get very shortly, which are in this tank down here, and I'm hoping that Milton likes them. All right, welcome guys.
Hey.
So we've just introduced you guys outside to Matt, so come on in. Matt's actually going to catch up your fish.
Yes.
Hey, nice to meet
for you.
Nice to meet you both. There's one or two to choose from, so kind of have to pick up some things and look inside because they're all here. Some bedders. We've got more down here.
The guy I was thinking is this one on the corner here.
Yeah, this one is really nice.
A really nice beta boy, and he's in there with the neons. So
That.
he's cool, huh? He's sort of he's kind of my pick of the ones so far I've had a look at, and he's the one that's actually living with the neon tetra, so you know he's not going to attack him.
I like that.
So
Yeah, that one's really
I also like that he's lighter in your tank because it's we've got the black background, the dark plants, and the dark rocks.
Yeah.
Then when you select your plant, your fish that go with them, then they'll stand out, especially with the neon. So awesome. But have a look around, make sure that he's the right one. And if you're happy with him, I think we'll get him.
Yeah.
Now that's an easy way to catch him up.
Yep.
And there's no fin damage, of course.
No, and it's actually very similar colours to the neon tetra as well. So you got the neon,
It is, yeah. Look
neon
at that.
blue and red.
Yeah, he's a great fish. He's a great fish to put in there.
A bit more water. And of course, eco-friendly Coles bag for the fish.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. So does the guys, I'm sure. Don't you, Juan? You
Yeah.
I don't think you could be much happier.
Well, I don't know if they'd say they're free. Adrian did do a lot of work for me already today. So.
No, that was all out of love. That was. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, mate. We really appreciate it. We're going to go home now and put these guys in the tank.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Matt.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Adrian.
Cheers, brother. Okay, so I'm just helping out Matt, getting some of his ponds emptied with some fish over there, these guys over here. And I thought I would show you this little chap who's just come out from under the IBCs, we're guessing, from being flooded out somewhere. But here's a blue tongue lizard, native to Australia. He's lost his tail, but they grow back. I don't know when that was, a while ago. I think he's coming good. But he is a really cool little lizard. They're not poisonous, they're not dangerous, really well behaved, make awesome pets. And if you see them, it means your yard's healthy, which is good. Now, I'm just going to let him go somewhere he can hide out for a while. But then we're going to get back into these ponds, and I've just waiting for Juan and his family to arrive. We're going to get some fish from him. This is another really cool thing that I had no idea about. Let me just get rid of this guy first. Okay, so I've decided to release him here, quite simply because this tub is heated. So he's going to have a very nice warm home under there. Lots to eat. And he's also in the backyard now as well, so. Okay, so this is something I've learnt today, which is why I love coming to other fish keepers' places. These guys in here, I couldn't work out what they were when I first saw them because I'm not used to seeing them in tubs, but these are paradise fish. Now, Matt has explained to me that these guys actually range from, I think, Indonesia and other areas right the way up to Korea, which means they can handle cold. They get somewhere between 4 and 5 inches long. They're pretty colourful, really interactive little fish. As you can see, these guys here are not concerned about me filming. But the most amazing thing about them is they live outside all year. So Matt keeps them in this tub. He's got to get rid of these tubs, so I'm going to take some of his fish for him and hold them and hopefully breed them. But then the reality is that I just had my mind blown because I can have different fish outside, or more than I thought. Matt, what was this red plant in here again?
The red one, that's Vallisneria contortionist.
How cool is that in the sunlight? And the orange rice fish in here. So I think what we'll do is we're definitely going to come back and do some work here and give Matt a hand. But I might come back and we'll do some filming. We're going to do some setups with those swamp cypress, and I've got a tank design in mind. And then we'll come back probably when Matt's resetting everything up and just give him a hand to do that. He's got some awesome plants for sale. If you need plants, jump onto his website. But these are chain swords coming out of the tubs. Check out the flowers. And then, and this was a, Matt, what was this one again?
I don't remember what the name is, but it's a Japanese water plant. It's just a marginal one.
A marginal water plant from Japan. I'm going to check that out and see if I can find it. If I did, it's on the screen right now. And then, of course, all this type of stuff growing outdoors. So it goes to show you that you can actually just take cuttings from your plants in your tank. Even if you don't have enough room for more tanks, you can always have tubs outside, grow a ton of really cool plants that you can rescape with, or you can sell at fish shops. Okay, all right, so we've made it back to Juan's place, and we're going to have a quick look at the tank. It looks really good, actually. It's super clean. I am really pleased with the way you've looked after it. You haven't overfed, You've done all the things right. The shrimp are still good, which is brilliant. So is there anything you wanted to ask me first before we go and do all the things that we're going to do?
Well, I have noticed that like this little green plant has been like just floating around.
So that's called Sawasatang, and I've noticed it over here on the dwarf grass as well. So I'll move those today, but really all you want to do is push it into the cracks of the rocks when it floats around, especially where you want it, because it will then, what happens is it'll come out and it's got tiny, tiny little roots that'll just get around onto the rocks, and then it will hold. And what it does, it forms like a little half ball, like a bush, like a hedge.
Okay.
So it's a great plant. If you haven't got any Sawasatang, or however you want to say it, and the botanical name's on the screen now, I'm sure, if I remember. It's brilliant because you don't have to have any light. It's one of those plants, pardon me, that is super easy to grow, hard to get hold of, and you always get a small bit. But if you put it somewhere dark, like you know how you see the lights in these areas, like sunlight here, it actually doesn't like this light area. It likes these dark areas over here. So if you plant Sawasatang, or even you just want to grow it, stick it into a clear Perspex container and stick it at anywhere on a shelf. Doesn't need any light at all, and it will actually just grow in that ambient, the lights in your room. So that's a brilliant one. I'm probably gonna. So we've got a heater we're gonna put in. I got that one. As it turns out, I had a spare, so that saves you having to buy one, which is good. I think it works. If it doesn't, well, we're going to find out. I'm going to look online today before we leave and work out, and I'll put on the screen as well what light we're going to get for this. Because really I want to, with the exception of Sawasatang, just get a light that actually works for growing these types of plants. So other than that, we're going to do a quick water change so I can show you how to do it, maintenance each week, which is really simple. I think if we drain obviously half of it's 50%. I think probably even 30% today, because it is so clean, it's running really well. The shrimp are really happy. I think that's what we're going to do, a 30% water change. I'll show one how to take care of it. I've also bought some food, which I've got over there, just an amount so I can show how much to feed this type of tank, not only to you, but to you guys as well. And then it's really just see how it goes and then keep in contact with me. You can obviously get me all the time on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Share pictures with me. Keep it going. If you've got any questions, let me know.
Definitely.
But I think the way it's set up should be a pretty simple biosystem. It should keep itself clean. The only thing you need to do, say 30% water changes, then possibly, clean that glass every couple of weeks when it needs it with a sponge. So, all right. Well, if that's it, we'll get into it, and I'm going to have a chat with your dad afterwards and see how it's all going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cheers.
Let's do this.
So when you're ready to release them, so what we've done is we've soaked them for about 10 minutes, I guess, maybe 15.
Yeah.
And one of the things you don't want to do is get the water from the shop or wherever you're buying your fish from. Now, these have come from Matt, so they're almost certainly going to be completely fine. He has great quality fish. But in any event, I still wouldn't add the water to the tank because I know my water's fine. I know that this system's running fine. It looks perfect. So why introduce something that's an unknown? So the best method to get your fish out of the bags and into there is what's known as a plop and drop. Now to do that, I'll grab this little net. One of the things to remember is that you should always keep your net wet before you actually do anything like this, because a dry net will just take the scales off of the fish and cause little wounds that get cuts, which then get infected. So a wet net is the way to do it. So we're going to do it with I'll tell you what, I'll do the tetras and you can do your boy. What, have you named him yet? What are you going to name him?
Cosmo.
Cosmo, that's a good name.
Yeah, Cosmo.
I like Cosmo. All right, I'll do the tetras, you do Cosmo, so I'll show you how to do it. So, in fact, you can put these guys in as well. What I'm going to do, sometimes people try to tip them and pour them and you never know where the bag's going to end up. So one of the tips that I use when I actually release fish is I get all of the air out from here, get the end of the bag together, I hold the end of the bag nice and tight, and then I turn it upside down, so I reverse it. So now all the fish are at the bottom, and I've only got a loose grip on here. So I'm going to let all that water out, and then those fish go straight into there. I shake the water off, now without sort of shaking the fish too much. Put your hand over it. Now you just want to sit them in there just to let them acclimate first, because if they go in straight away, they just dart around the tank and can hurt themselves. But now you've got them in there. So all you need to do is tip your net so that they come out the front. That's it.
That.
And now you have 6 neon tetra in your tank. How cool is that? I love that. Letting fish go is just one of the best things.
Yeah.
So we'll do the same with this little dude, Cosmo. That's a good name for him. And check out, I've got a cameraman, which is really cool this time. Check out the colours of Cosmo on there. He's really well suited to a tank with neon tetras. He's red, blue, and white. So he will look brilliant, and he'll get more colourful the older he gets, and the more comfortable he is in the tank. So he'll be when he's really happy, he'll be super colourful, ripping around the tank. You'll know when he's not in a good mood. You'll go, oh, he's looking a bit dull or whatever it is, and maybe I need a water change. And just watching your tank every day, you'll get used to it's a whole world that goes on in there. It's their entire life, it's their entire world. So if you keep up with their world, you get to understand their behaviours and their mannerisms, and it makes you understand, I think, a lot more about the fish than just being a fish keeper that just sees them in a tank and doesn't relate to them. If you can actually put yourself in a position, there is a fish keeper who I screwed up his name when I did the film with Nick, but Eric Bodrock is a brilliant fish keeper. Corey Dawes particularly, and he has a saying that says, "Be the fish." If you put yourself in that position of being the fish and you swim through your mind's eye, through the caves, around the hydrocotyle,
around the sponge filter. Where's the heat coming? You know, what's the cover across me feel like? Am I comfortable under the log with the timber on there up there as well as the plants? Now, if you go to that level, and you know I do because I'm crazy, but at the same time, if you do that with your fish, you create the perfect tank for them. Why? Because it's your tank. You've swum through it in your mind. You know where all of those places are. So he will be really happy with this. Now, he's got some weed in there which I don't want. So I'm just going to take the weed out. What is it? Pearlweed, I think. So if you put that in a little container and get some pearlweed, it will do really well. What have we got in there? Now what I'm going to do is just get this to get the plants out. There's quite a few in there. That's pretty good. Yeah. We'll just, anything I missed, that's your job to get out over the next couple of days. Okay, so I rest that on, see how I rest that on there? So when you're doing it by yourself, you've got no one to hold the thing with. So if you rest it on the edge of the bucket like that, you can actually do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to hold it there. So you hold the top like this. Yeah. All right, grab the bottom like that. And you're going to invert it, but keeping this tight. Okay, so what you want to do now is have that out, the bag open like so, into the net. Now I'll hold it for you. And then you're just going to hold that and you're going to let that hand completely go. That's it. And let him go. That's it. Beautiful. He's out. Drop the bag into the water. So you're worried about the fish, not the bag. And then you do the same thing. Perfect. That's perfect, man. And then just let him out and he'll swim out and tilt you're tilting the other way because they get stuck in the. I don't really like these nets, to be honest, the Kmart ones, because I think that they have that problem. Go. So they tend to get stuck in there. But anyway, he's now in there.
Beautiful.
So if you see in the cap here, see how they've got here the sizes on here, 1 mil and 5 mil. I think 1 mil is more than enough. So what you do is you'll fill your water up out of your tap. I'd fill 2 of these buckets up and I'd leave them outside. You can even put a bit of plastic over the top of them so no debris gets in them, you know, like that. But leave it outside for a week. Let the oxygen get to it though. And then, because you want all the gas to come off, but I would put literally 1 mil of water into, of the solution into that, and then tip that into there, and then give it a stir, and then leave it for a week. And then next week, when you're ready to do a water change, you just siphon it out, and this whole. So, and if you have 2 buckets, let's say the green one for green water because it's good to go in, and red, oranges for the bad stuff to come out. So you can siphon into this bucket here. It's exactly the same size as the other bucket, and you can have that ready to go, and you bring that bucket in, and you can just tip it in. You don't need to siphon it, or you get a little cup and scoop it out here. But basically what will happen is every single week the water will be exactly the same. It won't change. It's never going to kill your fish, basically, because you've prepared it in a week in advance. Any problems it might have, it will be over it by the time you put it into your tank, and your fish will be perfect. So that's definitely something you could use every week, 1 mil in that size bucket. Other than that, you really just want to make sure your heater's on, the light stays on, for a certain amount of time each day. Again, consistent. We can get a timer, and you can have it come on at 7 o'clock in the morning and go off at 7, 8 o'clock at night, whatever you like. 9 o'clock at night, it doesn't matter. Whatever time you want it to go off, set the timer, and then every night it's exactly the same. The fish like it, the plants like it, the cycle goes around. Yeah, don't they look good in there?
Yes.
So try to have the light over the center, just because it gets the light to as many parts of the tank as you can. See how you can see it just sort of glistening through there. It also gives that shimmer, which I absolutely love. That's just like a natural sunlight shimmer. Yeah, man, I really love that tank.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough for all your help, all your advice.
Man. Yeah, cheers, man. That's very welcome.
I've learned lots, and I hope you guys do as well. He's an amazing person. You're very kind, so thank you very much.
That's very nice of you to say, little brother. I thoroughly enjoy doing it because I enjoy this sort of stuff as well. But to know that you're enjoying it so much, I mean, that's just the thing. And I love to do that because I know when I do a tank, I get weeks, months, years of pleasure out of it. So to actually be able to do that for your family is really cool, because I'm expecting you to get another tank soon. So we'll come back and we'll do the second.
I just thought I'd quickly introduce Milton, which is Juan's dad. So we have obviously gotten to know each other whilst we're doing this. So you guys are from Colombia?
Yeah.
Bogota.
How long have you been in Australia for?
8 years.
Nice. Okay. So now you've got Colombian fish in your fish tank there as well in the background.
Yeah.
Which is feeding is important as well. So I've given you a little tub of food, and I'll show you exactly how much to feed there as well. Just enough to they should have all the food should be pretty much gone within 10 minutes of putting it in. And then if it is, then that's about right. They will still act a bit hungry, but that's good. You're better to underfeed than overfeed. And too much food, if they don't eat it, will rot in the tank. And again, if you feed them regularly, let's say it's 6 o'clock every night you feed them, they'll have a behavior that they're there at 6 o'clock every night. They'll be looking for food. They'll be looking for you. It gets them attached to you, and you're doing something nice for them. And then other times when you're sitting around the tank, they'll just behave normally. So yeah, getting them into a routine is really good. Thank you very much for inviting me to your home and letting me come in and create a mess like I've done.
Thank you. I personally would like to thank you because this is way beyond that we could ever expect.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Because we for us, like, it was some really basic, like, you get a tank, put fish in it, and look them, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you have taught us a completely different thing, like how this is their universe, this is the whole world. And once you understand that, you can treat them with respect, and I can see we can see that you have, and also Matt today, like, all that respect for them and love and effort to create this thing in a really beautiful way.
So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And you're right. It's having the respect for the fish and the understanding and the empathy and just knowing, that you are their world. It puts a different perspective on it, particularly when you're young. And if you get that right now, no matter what animals or stuff that you deal with or you go forward, you'll nail it from the ground up every time. So awesome. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And also so inspiring for me with the music. I did it like thinking like the same way you built it. I built it like adding many layers, trying to keep your vibe, to keep that energy.
I love the music too. I played it for the first time with Mrs. Fishroom. I literally said to her, I really hope it's good. And I played it and went, oh wow, I love it. And I was like, it was perfect. I said, oh, I just nailed it. So you did exactly what you set out to do, which was to recreate the way we created the tank. So I loved it. It's going in exactly as it is, and I'm sure everyone else will as
happy.
Well.
You liked it.
Very cool. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Pleasure. Love to come back and check it out sometime. I might even do a quick update video if I'm going past so everyone can see how it's doing.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. There we go. All right. Okay. Hopefully our heads were... You're nearly as tall as me. So it's all good. I can put that one in the loopers. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So what I was explaining before I forgot to turn the video on is I think your camera work will be better, Milton. Okay, that's recording. The good thing about editing is I can start it when I want. I think it should be good there. Who's going to do the clap hands? Take one.
I'll do it. You can do it.
Do it.
Ready? All right.
Down.
All right.